Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 26 of Women's Wrestling Focus, brought to you by SEScoops and hosted by me, Ella J. of a Wrestling Gal podcast. And today, I am not alone. For the first time in the history of WWF, we have a very special guest joining me today in the midst of WrestleMania season. You definitely know her if you watch and follow SEScoops. You may also know her, of course, for its Samira interviews. It's Samira. Samira, how are you today?
I'm doing good. It's me. I'm here the first time here on your Women's Wrestling Focus, and I am like the first guest. We got the women of SEScoops in the house.
But Samira, thank you so much for being here today. Of course, you are the very first guest on Women's Wrestling Focus. How are you today?
I'm doing good. It feels good, to be on here, both part of SEScoops, the ladies of SEScoops, and I love your Women's Wrestling Focus, so I can't wait to get into what we got to talk about today.
Of course, we are in the midst of WrestleMania season at the time of recording this. Mania is about a week away, but when it airs, it's literally going to be a few days away, and we actually will be in Dallas, Texas, doing some work for SEScoops, so you'll have to stay tuned for that. But yeah, we have a major card coming up for WrestleMania, so today we're going to be talking about our little predictions for the women's matches on the WrestleMania card, as is everything with Women's Wrestling Focus, and maybe some potentials with maybe some possible matches they might add. They have been known to add matches to the pre-show or the main card on the very last minute, but as of now, we do have 3 women's matches scheduled for WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 all together. Of course, all 3 of them are for championships, so since you're the guest, though, I'll let you pick which match first you kind of want to talk about.
Oh, alright. You know what I'm gonna pick first? I kept seeing it on Twitter all day I kept seeing it on Twitter all night last night, all this morning. Let's talk about Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, so if you don't know, Ronda Rousey was the winner of the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble, entering at number 28. It came down to her and Charlotte Flair. She eliminated Charlotte Flair, who was the SmackDown Women's Champion going into the match, and still is, But yes, so Ronda Rousey is the winner of the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble, and of course, she had the option to choose which champion she wanted to face at WrestleMania, and to the shock of a lot of people, she challenged Charlotte Flair, the Queen, the SmackDown Women's Champion, opting to go for the blue brand, and Ronda made her SmackDown debut a couple months ago, and of course, these two have engaged in a very bitter and I would say vengeful feud with each other. Of course, they faced each other in a triple threat match before at WrestleMania 35, and of course they also faced each other at Survivor Series 2018, where, if you recall, Charlotte Flair beat the living hell out of Ronda Rousey with a kendo stick, and I'm kind of hoping that happens again. But Samira, again, what are your thoughts heading into this matchup between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair?
I mean, we got 2, badass women right here. You got, the self-proclaimed baddest woman on the planet, and you got Charlotte Flair, the Queen, she's our SmackDown Women's Champion. I don't know, I feel like we're gonna have a really good match going into this, and, this isn't, the first time we've seen them together, but I feel like being on the grandest stage of them all, they're really gonna bring it this time, and it's who's exactly gonna win? Who's actually, the baddest and, the one that's gonna be, the head of the company? Personally, I think Charlotte Flair will still win, keep the title. I don't know. It's how she's presented herself the past, maybe year, I want to say. She's really reinvented herself. And I don't know. I can't see her not being the champion. But I wouldn't know who would be the person to take that title away from her.
I must say, I want to agree with you. I want Charlotte Flair to win, but sometimes in wrestling, what we want versus what we think will happen is not the same. And so for me, just going into this WrestleMania, I'm predicting we're going to get 3 new champions between 3 all 3 women's matches. And so for me, I mean, Ronda Rousey has returned. She has never been defeated in singles competition, I believe. Obviously, Becky Lynch pinned her in that triple threat at WrestleMania 35, but as far as I'm aware, Ronda Rousey is undefeated in singles competition. If I'm wrong, please let me know down below in the comments. Please correct me. But going into this, definitely Ronda Rousey returning, 1, after giving birth, and 2, for the first time since WrestleMania 35. I think they're going to have the faith and the push on Ronda Rousey. And so as much as it pains me to say it, I think we're going to be getting a brand new SmackDown Women's Champion at WrestleMania. Again, it's kind of unclear too where this match falls in the card. First, it was announced as the main event of night 1, but then you also have Becky and Bianca. So where do you think this is going to fall? It has been confirmed it's night 1, but where do you think this is going to fall in the placement of the card for night 1?
Well, I think it would be technically, the main event. She did win Royal Rumble, so the only logical explanation is the main event, because when you win the Royal Rumble match, you're guaranteed a chance at the title at WrestleMania on the main event. So it only makes sense. If they switch that around, I mean, Bianca and Becky is going to be a good match as well. I'm not saying that, and not that they don't deserve it, but I'm like, it's the whole point of the Royal Rumble, you know what I mean?
To counter that, kind of transitioning into the next match, I will say, so Becky Lynch is defending her Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch being the only 2 women in history to win the main events of their WrestleMania women's matches. And so for me, I mean, I totally get the traditional Royal Rumble winner main events WrestleMania. But also you have 2 women on the same night who were the only 2 women in history to win the main events of a women's match at WrestleMania. And so for me, that's also a high caliber matchup. And so I think you can make the argument too for Becky and Bianca to be main eventing night 1 as well. But I don't know. But there's also been talk about Kevin Owens and Stone Cold main eventing, so I don't really know what's going to happen.
I think everything is up in the air as of right now. I'm sure they're trying to piece together like what exactly will be the main event, because there's just so many matches that could really headline the first night. So I'm sure this is like a very difficult decision. But again, I feel like, I mean, you follow in the footsteps of how you did it. You did the Royal Rumble, because aren't they doing that the same thing on night 2? Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble. This is where he's gonna go. He gets night 2 with Roman Reigns. I don't know. Maybe that's just like my thought process, but I don't know.
Like I said, we'll see what happens. Of course, Charlotte Flair has plowed through the competition since, I mean, she became SmackDown Women's Champion technically after the brand through a title swap, but if you think about it, she's technically been champ since, SummerSlam, when she won, that triple threat against Nikki, Rhea, and herself. So she's been champ for, coming up on 6 months now, essentially, between the two, and she's plowed through the competition with, Alexa Bliss, of course, Sasha Banks, Toni Storm, a few other people too, Naomi as well, but I think Ronda Rousey is definitely her toughest challenge, at least in this run to date. I can see them wanting to put the title on Ronda Rousey, but again, we don't know how long Ronda is sticking around. But as much as I want Charlotte Flair to win, I'm predicting Ronda Rousey is going to walk away as the SmackDown Women's Champion. I don't think they're going to have her suffer another WrestleMania loss. But I must say, I do want your prediction to be true.
I mean, I don't know. I felt like, how this different vibe she's had going on for so long. And, it's like nobody can knock her down. And she's the queen. She's this badass, I'm just thinking they're gonna give her somebody. There's gotta be somebody that's just gonna. But I don't feel like it's now. I feel like she's built herself up so much. I don't know. I can't see Charlotte not winning this match.
We do still have. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what kind of entrance are we gonna get? Because when we had 35, Charlotte Flair came in that helicopter, and that was really sick. Mm-hmm. So, along with all of these, I'm always excited for the entrances, because how they detail everything for this, I get so excited. So I'm curious to see what will happen this year. Will she come out on a throne? Because I believe she's done that before. Will Ronda do anything? Because we know Joan Jett came for 35. Are they gonna do anything interesting? I'm really excited.
Me too. I really am excited. I can't wait to see what entrance Charlotte Flair is gonna have as the queen. Is she gonna have like a fancy robe, another throne? Regardless, I'm definitely excited for their entrances. Regardless of the outcome of the match, I am a must say, like, these are two high caliber competitors, definitely really tough as nails, but they're definitely gonna give the SmackDown Women's Championship a run for its money. But like I said, also competing on night one as well, we also have the Raw Women's Championship. Like I said, Becky Lynch, the man, big time Bex, will defending against the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, in kind of a little rematch to SummerSlam of last year. Samira, what are your thoughts on this build so far, and of course the matchup itself?
Again, we got two badass women coming into this match, both like we were talking about earlier, both like WrestleMania main event winners. So this is like definitely interesting to see who will come out the winner, because it's like you have these two great women that have done so much in the past, like what, maybe 2-3 years now, or 4, and like they're just absolutely killing it, and their storyline is very good. Like oh my gosh, and like that whip that she took with her hair, oh my god, I'm just like, like that picture, I was just like, oh my god, girl, is she okay? Like, I could not believe hair can do that. I was like, oh my god. So it's definitely been an interesting build up, and I'm like really excited to see what exactly will happen. I don't know where it will be placed on the card. Maybe it'll be towards the opening of the card. I want to say maybe it'll be like 3 or 4 I want to go with. I think maybe somewhere around then. And I don't know who will win this match. This is one where I can't exactly pinpoint who I think will win. I don't know if like we'll get kind of like Bianca Belair, like another like good girl, like underdog moment, like type thing, or is Becky the bad guy gonna, still be champ? I don't know.
I will say, this is the moment for Bianca Belair to get her SummerSlam revenge, where Becky Lynch shocked her by returning and then defeated her in 26 seconds. This is really, I think, Bianca Belair's first true time, because the other times that they faced one-on-one, Becky is essentially cheated to retain the championship, as she has in months past against, like, even competing against Charlotte Flair. I will say, though, Becky didn't cheat at all in her showing against Lita at Elimination Chamber, so that looks promising. But Bianca Belair did win the Elimination Chamber match to earn this opportunity at WrestleMania, and I did see a thing saying that it'll be the opening matchup on night one. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I think if you're going to have two big women's matches like this, one opening the show would be great, and then one either the co-main event or the main event, I think would be fitting too as well. But this one is huge.
It's good to like keep them spread out a little bit.
I definitely agree with you, and this one is huge too, because like I said, you have the only two women in history to win their main events of WrestleMania. Becky Lynch winning in that triple threat at WrestleMania 35, and of course Bianca Belair defeating Sasha Banks last year. So not only is there that rivalry that has been brewing since SummerSlam, but you also have two history makers, and the winner of this is going to be the true main eventer, the true main event of WrestleMania, assuming it is. Whether or not it is or not this year, this will, I think, be a really defining moment. I'm going with Bianca Belair here. I think Becky's had a solid run since winning at SummerSlam, but it's finally time for Bianca Belair to recapture that gold and kind of make amends or triumph over that SummerSlam fluke, we'll call it in my books.
I think I agree with you there. I see your point there. It's then like, what's next for Becky specifically after that? And then we'll just have to see. Maybe like we get an NXT call up. We get like, so the door's like basically wide open for anything.
I will say, so talking about NXT call-ups or after, I mean, of course we have like WrestleMania Backlash and stuff, but also on the back burner, we also can't forget Alexa Bliss has not been in competition since Elimination Chamber. Bayley is in the wings, Asuka is in the wings, Lacey Evans. I think definitely after WrestleMania, we'll definitely have a clearer picture. Of course, like I said, we have WrestleMania Backlash, which then would give us closure for that. But after that, I think we'll get a clear picture of what's next. I think it's very possible we could be getting some NXT call-ups maybe at WrestleMania or after. Who in your mind right now would be called up from the women's roster from NXT you could see fitting into Raw or SmackDown?
Oh gosh. I don't know, because they're killing it down there in NXT 2.0. Like, there's just so many great women. I'm not sure who exactly would be called up. I mean, like, I didn't know if they were gonna, like, somehow do a last-minute women's battle royal that they've, have been starting to do, like, every single year. And I thought maybe then we would see some NXT people if they decide to do it. But if somebody's gonna get called up, I don't know, maybe Raquel Gonzalez. I just felt like she's been down there for a while. I feel like maybe it's her time to come up to the main roster and show everybody what she can do.
I could see that because she's not involved in any match on the TakeOver Stand and Deliver card, which is a huge loss, a huge void in the card, considering she's been heavily pushed for well over a year now. For me personally, I know she's involved in the Fatal 4-Way at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, but Io Shirai has literally done everything there is to do in NXT, NXT Women's Champion, NXT Women's Tag Team Champion, winner of the 2022 Women's Dusty Cup. She made it to the finals of the 2018 Mae Young Classic. She's done it all, and so I think her course in NXT has run, and I think it's time, assuming she doesn't win the NXT Women's Championship on that Saturday morning, I think it's time for Io Shirai to fit into the SmackDown Women's division personally, but...
You're not wrong there. I mean, that's another one that I was just, like, thinking of, and maybe we'll get more. Like, there's always usually maybe more than one, so we never know, or something will happen, like, because, like you said, that goes down Saturday morning, and then we have Saturday night and Sunday night, so anything could happen in those times, or you get the Raw after Mania, or SmackDown after Mania, so anything could happen.
Like you said, too, I mean, they've done the Battle Royal in the past, but I think this year and last year having another NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, I think obviously you're getting the same day NXT talent. Would they? I'm not ruling it out. We've definitely seen the Women's Battle Royals be on like the pre-show and on the main cards of WrestleMania. It's possible we could be getting some NXT talent in there, but I think the NXT talent that might even be in there we're already going to see on TakeOver Stand and Deliver.
We'll just have to see, and like you said, it's in the morning, so if anything could happen, it could happen maybe that Saturday night or Sunday night. I mean, the door's wide open. Who knows what WWE is planning at this point.
And, of course, we have one more women's matchup on the card. And like I said, as of right now, this is the last and final matchup scheduled to go down on WrestleMania. And at the time of recording this, it is currently a fatal 4-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, with Queen Zelina Vega and Carmella defending against Sasha Banks and Naomi, also against Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and most recently Natalya and Shayna Baszler. And so this is kind of a way to bring in some more star power. And again, the first time since WrestleMania last year that the Women's Tag Team Championships are being defended on pay-per-view, but that's a whole other discussion. But Samira, what are your thoughts on this fatal 4-way tag team match for the Women's Tag Team Championships?
Oh, I have mixed emotions about this because, like, I don't know, because these teams, like, they're all usually singles competitors, and they threw them all together as, like, a tag team, and I'm just like, okay, like, I don't know, because I felt like a couple years ago, or so, like, they had a strong, like, women's tag team division. There was, like, so many people that actually were together and had been together for a while, and for, like, it to, like, now slowly fade out, and we technically don't really have any that have been together for, like, a long time. It's just kind of weird. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I feel like that's really, weird, like, they just throw these people together all the time when they're fine as a singles competitor, but I don't know. However, like, it's still good because you're still getting all these women. They're all still going to be on the WrestleMania card, and they're going to showcase their talent. So I'm really excited because I really like each and every single one of these women and how they work in the ring. So I'm really excited to see what exactly will happen. I do think the titles will change, though. I feel like Carmella and Zelina have had them for a bit some time. I feel like we're gonna see, like, new champions. I don't know. I really like Sasha and Naomi, But then I'm like, I don't know, like, Rhea and Liv, like, I could see them holding it. And then you got Natalya and Shayna, like, oh my god, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but I do think the titles will switch hands.
Like I said towards the beginning of this, I'm predicting 3 brand new, I guess it technically be 4 since it's for the tag team, but I'm predicting all the women's championships to change hands during WrestleMania over the course of the 2 nights. I definitely agree with you. They had a stable tag team division, first half of last year, even 2020, 2019 when they first started. But yeah, up until a few weeks ago, there was literally only one tag team, which was the tag team champions, because after they broke up Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH, all that was literally left on the main roster was Zelina Vega and Carmella. I will say, though, I am very much liking the reintroduction of Team Bad, well, 2/3 of Team Bad, with Sasha Banks and Naomi. Of course, they're definitely probably going to be the most favorable going into this matchup, at least into crowd investment, I would say. But also, I'm here for Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Maybe it's because I just want them to, but I really could see they need to strap a championship on Liv Morgan for once. Finally. So I'm really, really hoping that Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan take home the victory here. And I saw somebody say that they are actually the only team that hasn't picked up a victory in the last few weeks. And Talia and Shayna have, Sasha, Naomi have, and Zelina and Carmella have, at least between singles competition and tag team competition. And we both know, normally leading up the go-home show, the winner doesn't normally win at WrestleMania. And they're the only team that I guess hasn't won anything in weeks leading up to, somebody said. So maybe that's pointing us in the right direction. Or I might just be looking into things too deeply. But my prediction is Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan will dethrone Queen Zelina and Carmella. Do you have an official pick, Samira?
I think I might agree with you and say maybe Rhea and Liv. Liv's never held a title, so I feel like it could happen here. Her WrestleMania moment right there, holding a tag team title. But at the same time, I really want, like, Naomi to hold a title again, and I want Natalya to hold a title again. So hopefully that will eventually happen later down the road, even if it's not the tag team title, but just a women's championship, title. But it's so hard to pick because they're all, like, so good in their own way, and I'm just like, how am I supposed to choose? But I think I agree with you with Rhea and Liv.
My only other fear too is Sasha Banks has never had a WrestleMania victory, and I think if she were to lose here, it'd be like 0-6 or 0-5, 0-6 or 0-7 or something like that. And I was like, you can't have Sasha Banks, the boss, be literally defeated have a 0 record at WrestleMania. And so a part of me is also like, I want Sasha to get her first victory here, and of course get some Naomi some gold again. It's literally been since 2017 that she's last held a championship for Naomi. So I'm ready. I'm good with Sasha and Naomi or Rhea and Liv, but me personally, I finally want Liv Morgan to get that championship, and I love them as a tag team too. So they're going to be my picks, but I think we're both in agreement that the tag team championships are changing hands.
I just thought of something. So we've had, Bayley and Sasha so many times together, and like we said, it seems like Bayley is ready to go. Mm-hmm. So is it possible she could get involved in some way, come out, like, do something? Like, I don't know, I just started thinking, like, maybe she's going to get involved in some way with this match, and, like, I don't know what's going on if Ariane or Cameron, if, like, the Royal Rumble was, like, the one-time only thing, or if she's willing to come back, because, like, easily they could take Sasha and Naomi. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me thinking of, like, surprises or something that could happen at WrestleMania. I don't know. That's just my thought process. I'm trying to think of, like, wait, what could happen here to mix things up?
I mean, we've seen some surprise returns and appearance. Like last year, we saw the Bella Twins, engage with Bayley and all of that.
Oh, there we go.
The Bella Twins. People have been saying that they hope the Bella Twins get added. We do still have one more SmackDown to go. There.
Wait, when is the tag team? When is it scheduled for?
Night
is it
2.
Scheduled for Sunday? And the
Yes.
Bellas are doing a signing that same day. I think we
Actually,
just
the Bellas are
unlocked
doing a
something.
signing on Friday, I believe.
Oh, it's Friday? I thought it was
Yes.
Sunday.
But we do still have SmackDown though to go. I believe they're signing on Friday.
I don't. If anything, if anybody were to return, it's not going to be on Friday Night SmackDown the night before. I don't think that will happen. Something, I feel like we've unlocked something with the Bellas being there, and like they've talked openly about wanting to return, it seems like, and do a little bit more and hold like maybe the tag team championships before they like officially retire. So I think we could see something happen. Maybe not at WrestleMania, but possibly maybe the Raw after. I don't know. So like, I feel like we've unlocked something by all this. Like, I'm just like, wait a second.
I mean, they were clearly cleared for competition since they were at the 2022 Royal Rumble. And I know a lot of people have been speculating. We do still have one more Raw and one more SmackDown at the time of recording this. So could this become a fatal five-way? Possibly. I know a lot of people would want to see that.
I don't know. I don't see that happening. I just feel like if it's gonna happen,
to be fair,
it's gonna be a surprise, like on the grandest stage of them all, like how we had 20
the Hardys.
Yeah. I was trying to remember what year that
2017.
was. Yeah, that's what I thought.
2017.
I was like, it could happen then. Like, so I feel like if they're gonna do it, they're gonna wait to do it on the grandest stage of them all. Like, there's no other time, perfect time. We've had so many rumored things come for WrestleMania that we're hearing. So I feel like if anything's gonna happen, everything that they're gonna possibly do to do it, it's gonna be then.
So should the Bella Twins get inserted into this matchup, my prediction changes then to the Bella Twins, I would say.
If they were to get inserted into this match, I don't know if I would say they would. Or maybe you're right, because if they don't win now, when would they win? Would be
Exactly.
the right time. Now that I think about it, because I was gonna say no, I can't see them winning, but and then I'd feel bad because all the other women that were like working to get that, and I'm just like, but here we go, the Bella Twins are an actual like tag team. They were. I don't know. I'm so torn. Why do you do this to me, Ella?
I don't do it. It's not me throwing teams together weeks leading up. I mean, the Bella Twins are a legit team. And
Yeah,
to
they
be fair,
are.
The Hardys were a legit team
and they
when
won.
they returned in 2017, and they won.
I just feel bad, like when that happens. Like, I'm excited for them, but I feel bad for the other teams, because you know, like you know, they were working hard and stuff like that. But oh man, yeah, if they do get inserted into this match, I might have to change my answer and say they would win this match.
Yeah. So officially, for our 2022 WrestleMania women's match predictions, we got for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Samira is going with Charlotte Flair. I want Charlotte to win, but officially my prediction is Ronda Rousey. For the Raw Women's Championship, what was your pick again?
I think I technically didn't pick, but I think in a way I agreed with you and said Bianca Belair would be like her revenge from SummerSlam.
Okay, so we're 2-0 in agreement for Bianca Belair. And when we get to the WWE Women's Tag Teams Championships, that's where things get a little bit fuzzy. So should the Bella Twins not enter this matchup and it stays a fatal 4-way tag team match, I have Rhea and Liv. I know you said Sasha and Naomi or Rhea and Liv, but if you had to officially pick one, which would you go with?
I think I'm going with Rhea and Liv on this one because I feel like if they do insert, like, if Bayley returns in some way, Sasha's going to be going into, like, a whole different storyline than this. So that's why I'm saying Rhea and Liv on this one.
Okay, fair enough. And, of course, if the Bella Twins do get introduced, I think where the Bella Twins are walking away is the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. So, okay, we have some agreements. The only one we're really kind of not is the SmackDown Women's Championship, but that's the fun of shows like this. Of course, Samira, thank you so much for joining me for episode 26 of Women's Wrestling Focus, your debut, my first guest on the show. Of course, if people are tuning in, they're probably already following you, but if they are not, where they can find you on all your social medias, let them know.
Well, if you're not following me already, I mean, come on, you're on the SEScoops YouTube channel, for Christ's sake, be like... But you can find me here doing interviews for SEScoops. You can find me on Wrestling News Co.'s YouTube channel doing interviews there, and on social media, you can find me at It's Samira, TheItsSamira, and I also post on my YouTube channel as well, where I do vlogs or like post little clips of my interviews, so you can check me out on all social media platforms, YouTubes, and yeah, so keep up with me, and me and Ella are gonna be killing it in Dallas, so make sure to stay up with us, keep updated with us, because we're going to be running all over Dallas doing too many events. Too many, but it's going to be so worth it. I'm ready not to sleep at all, and it's going to be great, so make sure to keep up with us.
And, of course, you got your Snapchat username changed.
Finally! If anybody knows me, I finally got it changed because Snapchat came through finally after all these years. I was like, it was time. If you know, you know, people. If you know, you know.
I know, but yeah, like Samira said, myself and her will be in Dallas, Texas this week in a couple days, coming up for WrestleMania weekend at WrestleCon. Of course, we'll literally be running around. Our schedules are insane, but if you see us, please say hello. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at It's Ella J. That's the easiest way, or a wrestling gal on Twitter or Instagram. Go to the link tree in my bio so you can find me in all the lovely places like SEScoops. And of course, all my own content as well. And of course, for Samira and myself, Ella J, this has been episode 26 of Women's Wrestling Focus. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, let us know down in the comments below all your predictions for WrestleMania. Are you predicting some new champions? Or are we going to have maybe a clean slate of all retentions? Who knows?
Or
WrestleMania
returns.
is the grandest stage of them all. Or returns, too. I mean, there's a lot going into it. It is the grandest stage of them all, and expect the unexpected, as they say, of course. Again, like I said, this has been episode 26 of Women's Wrestling Focus, the WrestleMania Prediction Edition.